Hello everybody, today in Cocina Huachaca we have a very special session. We're bringing you today the most beautiful dishes of our dear Mexico. In fact, we have today summoned the death himself to bring us the best specialist in our food. Please welcome our two guests. The first, my dear Tia Roberta. Come here, how are you?
Hola Carlos, how are you? How are you doing?
Good. Please welcome also my dear abuelita, my granny Rosa. Hey.
How are you?
All good. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Rosa and I am the abuelita or grandma of Carlitos, and I am also the mother of Roberta. I was very known in Mexico because of my Mexican churros that are incredibly delicious. You have to taste them.
Yes, so as Rosa said, I am Roberta Enriquez. So I was the best cooker of guacamole and nachos of the whole Mexico. And I want to show you how I used to make them. But first, we need to know a little bit of our beautiful and magnificent country. So, Mexico is located in the southern portion of North America. It is the 10th most populated country in the whole world. Our main language is Spanish, but we also count with 67 indigenous languages. Did you know that Mexico is one of the most important countries in the world? In fact, it is the most visited country in Latin America. Our food is very well known for its spiciness, and in 2010 it was nominated as a culture heritage of humanity. Okay everybody, so first we're gonna start with our appetizer, the nachos. So we're gonna need a cup of cornmeal, also a bit of salt, 3/4 of a cup of water, and oil. You will also need a bowl, a spoon, and butter paper. So first we're gonna pour our cornmeal in the bowl. Then we put the water, but not everything, just a bit. And we're gonna start mixing it. Then you're gonna put the salt. And mix everything until you get a very consistent dough. Okay, so now that we get a consistency like this, we're gonna take a little ball of it, and we're gonna put it in our butter paper, like this. Then you're gonna put another one on top, and with a rolling pin, you're gonna roll it. Okay, so now that we're done rolling and our mixture looks plain like this, we're gonna take a knife and do a circular figure like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're gonna take off all the excess. So now that we have done a lot of circles with our dough, we're gonna take them to the frying pan. So now we're gonna take our nachos into the frying pan. Okay, so now that our nachos dough are very nice and cooked, we're gonna cut them into small triangles. So, while we cut this, I want to tell you a story. Did you know that the creator of nachos was a man called Ignacio Anaya Gonzalez? He was a chef, and one day a group of wives of the USA military came to his restaurant and asked for a quick snack. So he came up with nachos, and he named them after his nickname, Nacho. Nowadays, this snack is very popular and well known in the USA. And now everybody knows them, and they are sold in the markets and everywhere. So now that we have all our little triangles, we're gonna fry them. And now we're gonna take them off. Okay, so now that our nachos are done, we need to make the guacamole. All we need is smashed avocado, 1 tomato that is cut into small pieces, also a bit of coriander, half a lemon, and an onion that is cut also into small pieces. So what we need to do is just combine all the ingredients, just like this. Okay, so now that we poured all our ingredients in the bowl, we're gonna put some lemon juice and mix it all in with a spoon. So now I want to tell you a bit of the story of guacamole. The name guacamole comes from the language of Aztecas. Aguacamole, a mixture of two words, aguacatl, which means avocado, and mole, which means sauce. So, according to mythology, the god Quetzalcoatl offered the recipe to his people and was spread all over the region of Mexico and Guatemala. Nowadays, because of the colonization of Spain, guacamole is very globalized, and we all know it and love to eat it with a good nacho.
Okay, so now we're going to do our famous Carlos tacos, one of the best of the available in the market. And these are the ingredients, very simple. Okay, so to start with, we will present you the cornmeal. You just need 500 kilograms of this beauty to make a lot of tacos. Also, you have to add half a spoon of baking powder to it. Another ingredient we can add is the 90 kilograms of butter, and also 350 milliliters of water that we are going to boil afterwards. When the water is reaching the boiling point, you have to add your butter, like this, it's a spoon if you want, and gently mix it. Now it's ready. The next step in our recipe consists in dropping our mix of water and butter into our other mix. You have to do it gently, bit by bit, and making sure to mix a bit in between. Very nice. And well, now that all is mixed up, you have to embrace your inner Mexican and start it smashing with your bare hands, like this. Did you know that the word taco actually comes from the language Nahuatl, which was the one that the Aztecs spoke, and also our leader Moctezuma? Well, the origin of the taco is mostly unknown, but two references are highlighted in almost every bibliography referencing this theme. And one of them says that Moctezuma used these tortillas from corn as a kind of spoon for his meals and such. And also the workers that worked in the farm used to carry their food also in tortillas, because that's the best way of keeping it fresh. And a third bibliography that we can see in some places mentions that Hernan Cortez, you know, the big adventurer that came to America, he one day came and gave his boys, his crew, a taco evening. And that is well remembered by almost all famous Chilean historians. Okay, now that we have reached this consistency, if you need, you can add more water. You have to let it rest for about 10 minutes. And that's it, let's wait. Now that we waited, we can take our dough, take a piece of it, and as a villain, you have to gently strangle him until you get this kind of ball. It can be like the size of your hand, it depends on the size that you like your tortillas. And you make it round. Like this, and go do another one. Okay, so now that we have our dough balls, we have to shape them. To do so, we can apply some cornmeal in our surface, and with the help of a rolling pin, you have to just roll it out very thinly, because remember, these are tortillas and we have to thin them so much to gain the flexibility that we want. Okay, so that our dough has now reached a paper thin consistency, we have to work on the crunchy part of this beauty. So let's go. So after waiting, here comes my little trick. See? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. That's good. An extra step we have to follow before finishing this dish is actually making our meat. Now it's ready. Well, now that we have put all our blood, sweat and tears into this, we have to proceed to making the final step. That means the assembling. We have all our ingredients. We have some meat, onion, tomatoes and cilantro. The Mexican tacos are really simple. They do not require cheese or guacamole or all this United States garbage. Instead, we're going to make it all pure and natural. So I like meat a lot, so I'm going to be very gentle in this aspect. Very nice. I have to put it in the middle. Remember that taco comes from the word tlaco from Nahuatl, which means the middle, where is the part where you put all the ingredients in. Very nice and softly. Onions are also not just tasty but also very healthy, like onions. Finally, but not less importantly, our tomatoes. This looks very good. Okay, before ending, you have to consider that real Mexicans don't use this burrito folding technique. Real Mexicans eat their taco this way. It's such a beautiful afternoon, and as every moment, every time is perfect for a taco. Also, as we Mexicans say, a taco is not denied to anyone. Órale.
Finally, we are going to make the dessert. And the dessert will be the Mexican churros. These churros will be incredibly tasty, and now I'm going to tell you which ingredients you should have to make them. At first, we need 125 milliliters of milk, 102 milliliters of water, 30 grams of butter, 150 grams of wet flour, 2 eggs, 1 pinch of salt, and we also need sunflower oil. And to decorate, we will use cinnamon and sugar.
Well, now I'm going to tell you the story behind the churros. Some people believe that this dessert arose in Mexico, but its origin is in China and came to Mexican lands thanks to Portuguese merchants who tasted the youtiao, also known as fried devil. This food resembles the Spanish churros as opposed to being served with soy milk. It is said that ancient European merchants recreated this delicacy in the Iberian Peninsula with a star shape and different ingredients, such as sugar instead of salt. In what is now Mexico in the 16th century, a large part of European gastronomy spread through that territory and into Central and South America. It evolved into its most exotic and fascinating Mexican variants: churros filled with cheese, blackberry, chocolate, dulce de leche, cajeta, and even guayaba.
Now, in a pot, we have to mix the milk, the water, the sugar, the butter, and heat over low heat until the butter dissolves. When the mixture starts to boil, we add the flour. With a wooden spoon, we begin to stir until the flour has been absorbed. Now we remove the pot from the heat and we are going to add the eggs that we have before beaten and mix all of this with a fork.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have to put the dough into the churros machine to make them like this. Yummy! We have two options. We can dip the churros into the sugar with cinnamon, like the originals of Mexico, or we can dip them into the sweet manjar.
Finally, in conclusion, we can say that Mexican food stands out for its varied flavors and masses. Each meal has a story behind it which makes them even more special.